Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the next episode for the City of Hope. In this episode, I wanted to get to working on a small lake town, building some farmland, working on agriculture production, tackling some city services. I was thinking about getting a large fire hall in our downtown area, as well as building some more elementary schools, which seems to be an ongoing issue. But for now, I really need to get going on our framing for this city. I was thinking we are going to come and build out in this area here. To start, let's get some tiles. I think I want to give myself a lot of extra room, so I think we'll go with something like that for now. We can build it to 150, so we definitely have a lot of room to play with here. Okay, let's take a look at our natural resources. We have lots of fertile land here. We do have the highway that's coming right through here, but I'm thinking we could build some farms on either side. Kind of build some interesting sort of prairie land out here, I guess. We'll get some farms in here, some farms out there, and connect our two roads. I was also thinking we might put in a train station right along here. And before I actually get into building the train station, I saw a nice fix that you can do for some people that have too many trains on your train tracks, because you create, I guess, a few too many connections. So one thing you can do, take a look at our transportation overview and take a look at trams. You can just do one line. So as you can see, I have multiple lines here, but we can just do one line that connects them all. So I think that's what we're going to do to start is I'm going to hit pause. We're going to delete all of our routes because intercity traffic is very limited. As you can see, we're only getting like 100 between two trains. So if we just get rid of those and we click on our passenger rail line here, and we can just start with our outside connections. If you haven't already, please click the like button, comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm. Now we can close that off, and then we can take a look at our transportation overview. And now we have 8 stops, 9 stops, and then we can have just a limited amount of trains, and it should reduce the amount of train traffic because it's definitely a little much right now. So that was something that I read in the forums for a nice little fix. Or if you're running out of trains, or if you just have a lot of train traffic that seems a little unnecessary, you can go ahead and do that fix. All right, so jumping into this overview here, we have our unemployment. It's sitting at 8%. With these farms, it should add some more jobs, which will be good. We are going to add a small town. Whenever I build sort of rural farmland, I like to make sure we have a town that can kind of feed it with people that are going to work there. And that's kind of what we have out here. We have this rural town out here for workers to fill in those farms there, and we'll do the same thing. We'll have a little lake town out here, and I wanted to go with a bit of a an interesting shape for like a rural town that is going to have a bunch of people out here. They're going to work for our farming industry that we're going to build out here. If we take a look at our production here, we can see we're still doing fine, surprisingly, for our wood. We can definitely get a lot of work done in our farming here. I'm thinking we're going to get grain. We'll get lots of livestock, get some vegetables, and maybe some cotton in there as well. But definitely needing a lot of the livestock. We are running a deficit of 465 tons per month. And then for the grain, we're running a deficit of 372 tons per month. So those are my main focuses, and we'll get a couple of those other ones in as well. So let's go ahead and jump into a quick time lapse while I build our framework for our town, as well as some farm roads, and then we'll get right back into the live play. Okay, I think that'll do for the basic framework for our few sort of rural roads. So we're going to start throwing in some farm roads. I want to build our city frame here first. But before we get into that, I wanted to kind of discuss some of the intersections we built. I was back and forth with this intersection that's going to kind of cut across from this sort of rural country road to our other rural country road out here. And I wanted to kind of keep it very basic. I didn't want to add in extra lanes. I think what I'm going to do is take a look and see how traffic flows. I don't foresee this being a busy route. If it does, I'll add in some extra lanes, but I think for now, leaving this simple additional pass-through lane and turn lane specific for both sides should be fine. And then this just ending here, I think should be good as well. This one got a little bit more interesting here. I tried to make it a little bit better. I couldn't really get it the way I wanted it, but I think this is essentially what I wanted in the end, was something similar to this. So we have a simple major highway connection into a smaller sort of rural highway with its own dedicated exit and entrance lanes. The only thing I couldn't really get would be like an entrance lane on the inside here without this lane becoming a straight through as well as a turn, so I just didn't want that. So I'm going to leave it like this. We're going to see how traffic flows through here. This could get a little bit busy, but we do have a major connection quite far down the road that I think people would be using that one more than this one. But this, of course, will get some traffic once we start building our city in here and some farmland, but we'll keep an eye on that. The next thing we have to take a look at is some of our contour lines here. So if you take a look at, it's quite hilly here, slopes down, and I want to respect that. I don't really want to do too much terrain work here. So my idea of doing a sort of hexagonal sort of rural American town may not actually work here. And I think what I'm going to do is switch this on the fly and go with following the contours of our terrain that we've kind of been given here. I think that'll add an additional challenge. I also went from a regular highway down to a 4-lane here. I think this would make some perfect sense to have just sort of a commercial strip with gas stations, maybe some restaurants and that as you drive through our sort of rural town here. I want to get into building some of those roads for our lake town, so I want to get into that, and then we'll jump into another time lapse later for doing some more framework for farmlands. Taking a look at how our land is kind of going, it seems like a high point would be right about here, and I want to give it some space as well. So if I did something like a road here, one about here, and then if I were to take another one, maybe if I bring that one back a little bit and we could get rid of this one. I also want to get in our train station. So when we go ahead and put in a train station that I want to essentially work for both our town of Adam out here and then our lake town, which I haven't named yet. But I want to take a look at where we want this to end up lining up. I wish we could have like rural train stations because it's just such a massive train station for such a small area. So I think what we'll do is, where do I want it? Do I want it to be in town? I think I do. I think what we'll do is we'll cut this train station back here. I'll cut that train track back there. We'll put the station in. Turn our contour lines on. It might get a little messy. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it right around here and see how it looks. I think that looks all right. I want the main line to go down the middle. There we go. Then we have lots of space to go down this other side. So let's go ahead. Okay. All right, let's continue with that network that's going to come around here. How does that look? It looks good. Now, I was thinking of getting an elementary school sort of front and center here. And then I wanted to actually steal one of these buildings. I know I had mentioned before this building right here. If I take this building and kind of make this sort of like downtown-ish portion of the city here. Let's keep building the frame, and then I'll put that in after. Let's go ahead and put the park in there. I want to get a road in right behind. Really, this road right here is bugging me a lot. I have to take a mulligan on this one too. And I'm going to take this land and actually terraform it a little bit. Let's take it from here. And then I'm going to soften it out afterwards. I think we change out some of these blocks here. So instead we leave this to a little bit of office and commercial in sort of this area here. And then we switch our roads. I want to kind of put some road in here, but I don't think it's going to fit. I'm just looking at like the slope here, and I think it would look weird if we put anything between. So I think this is just going to be, it's supposed to be a very large green space, but we can put homes along here and maybe put some homes up top. See how it's going to look. I could try and push some of the land back. We did a little bit like this. And maybe put some walking paths that might zigzag through here. We'll see how it goes. I do want to get some fire out here as well, which is going to bring me to that other portion. What I wanted to do was wanted to move this small firehouse out of our downtown, which makes no sense. Very small firehouse for a very large downtown area. So I'm thinking we can put that down here in what I'm kind of putting in as our small downtown area. Be a good little fit right there. And I want to unlock our large firehouse, the fire station, and put that in its place down here. It's a great looking building. I might need to move our medical clinic, which we could also move downtown or down to our rural area there. We don't have a med clinic in the town of Adams, so I actually think that'd be a good idea. We move that out because we have a very large hospital just down the road that we put in. And then we have a med clinic across the bridge over there. We have another med clinic there. I think we'll be okay to move this out. We'll move this. Right there. That'll give it great access to both towns. Give it an ambulance depot as well. I didn't even know it was missing that. And then the firehouse down here, which is quite a large asset. Kind of cut into our downtown park by quite a lot. I can't wait for add-ons when I can remove this sort of gray look and we can actually see a lot better. It just makes it very difficult to build. It's quite unpleasant. I don't know why they made a gray and green sort of building screen. It's a little odd. Well, now I think what we'll do is we'll put this as some high density homes now instead. I would still like to get that fire hall in the downtown area here. I think that's going to go right here. I always feel sad kind of breaking in through some of this stuff, but we could definitely use some improvements. What a cool looking building. Let's get some upgrades on it too. So the training facilities, on-site training facilities that help firefighters stay in top shape and thus extinguish fires more efficiently. Yes, please. Also looks a lot cooler. Let's get ourselves a helipad. Firefighting helicopters operating from here improve the response time of other firefighting units and can extinguish forest fires from the air. Disaster response, we won't need that. And then more space for fire engines. I don't think we're going to need that. Now that the fire station is in, let's come and fix some of the housing we destroyed back here. And we'll let that stuff sort of build itself back in. I think the downtown area is going to be much happier for it to have this fire fire station is much needed improvement for a downtown. Has a great access to everywhere from here too. They can cut this way and get into our business park if they need, and they can always cut this way and get out onto the highway, or they can go to university. It's a great sort of great central location. I feel like they have our emergency services here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have just been moved. Oh boy, it's like ants. How many? What's our numbers? Oh, well, they're gonna start moving back in again. And we also added in some high rise here too. So in the end, actually, we added in some more housing. All right, let's let that go. We're gonna get back into over here, and that is something we need to do is connect in some sewer and some power. One thing you can do, I have thought about it, but I don't think we're gonna do it here. But you can go into your road services and you can add lighting. And if you add lighting, I did do that actually out here. When you add lighting to your road, it will add in electricity. So you can see, here we go. We don't need to put in power lines here because I added in some lights to our road. And then now we have, it brings the power lines along the road for you. I feel like that was very fitting for this being a jail. You know, we light the roads all around it so that at nighttime it's all lit. But for a rural town, I don't think it would make sense to have lights on all these rural roads. I feel like it would look kind of silly. So we're just going to go ahead and put some underground power. Actually, you know, instead, let's go with above ground. I think it'd look more aesthetically pleasing having some power lines kind of follow our highway road. Now that should give us electricity, I believe, to our neighborhood here. There, lights are on. And let's get some plumbing. Excellent. Now we have that sorted. I want to get going with our zoning. When I'm building sort of rural areas, I like to do something similar to what I did here, where we have lots separated by themselves. You just don't paint one large area. Kind of gives me a bit more of that realistic sort of feel. And I think I also might go back and forth with European as well. So I'm just going to go into a time lapse here and paint in a whole bunch of homes for this area, and we'll be right back. Okay, I think that'll do for our lake town. I added in a little district at the end there, mainly because I wanted to do a few housekeeping things that I actually haven't gotten around to at all, and it's something that it can be quite handy. When you come to your schools, you go to select your operating districts, and then you can pick which ones you want your schools to operate in. So I'm going to say Pearlbrook, and I will say the town of Adam. I just want this to pretty much be... Oh, and I guess we could go with Tennessee Girl out here, too. We can say this school is working these rural areas alone. And if we come and do that same thing to our other schools... That should be good. And then I'll do the same thing with our firehouses. We should get those sorted out. So we'll go Pearlbrook here, here, and there. I think I want to also focus our medical clinic for out here as well. I'm not going to do that for everything, but I do want to get some of our rural areas kind of focused in with where they're going to be serving people from what areas. Now that we have our lake town in, we're going to kind of let this kind of grow in. I sprayed a bunch of trees. You can see it's in dire need of some. But I really don't mind it. I think this building does kind of fit in here. I'm a little mixed with it. I do like putting in the mixed use here with some of a little bit of height in here. Not too much, right? I really don't want to go too high, but I think this will kind of fit. I feel like as the trees kind of grow in, it'll make it look a lot nicer, and we can kind of change things as it comes along. Otherwise, though, I feel like this fits very well for a sort of rural town. The last thing on our docket is the farms. So that is going to be quite extensive here. We've got lots of farms to add in. Hopefully I didn't take up too much here. I actually wasn't really paying attention. So let's see. Oh, okay, good. So we have some out there. We've got here and there. Let's go ahead and buy a couple extra tiles to get that covered off. And essentially we're just going to build, I want to build a lot of, I want to make this look like just very basic prairie farmland. All right, so show our natural resources. We'll come in here with our gravel road. I want to just kind of frame in some of this. All right, let's take a look at how large our farms are going to be, because we have to respect the circles that it's going to give us here. So when you're building your livestock farms, your grain farms, you need to take a look at what it needs. So livestock farms, you can put that anywhere. Grain farms, we need fertile land, and vegetable farming, we need fertile land. If you take a look at our production, what we need the most is grain and livestock, and then we have vegetables, and cotton is what we need the least of right now. So I think what we're going to do is definitely focus on our grain farms first, maybe get a vegetable or cotton farm in there, maybe one or two of those. And then we're definitely going to fill in a lot of the other space that is not fertile land with the livestock farms. Oh, and I totally forgot we unlocked the dairy house, delivering delectable dairy delights daily. So it's industrial efficiency increase and exports profits, and it's all citywide. I feel like if I could fit this out here, that would be kind of ideal, and I feel like it would fit into sort of our rural countryside. They were just kind of put it in this like farmland in here would be good. We'll put that in there. I added in a few extra details offline just to kind of wrap up some of the missed or negative space that I had left over. I didn't want to miss anything I felt looked a little bit weird with some of the space out here. I just added in, was it 1, 2, 3, 4 farms over there, and I think I put 1 there. This will wrap up our Lake Town and rural farmland expansion. I think it looks great. I really felt like it kind of filled this large space that we kind of have in here very well. We have added a lot of production. If we take a look at our production tab, from the beginning we had, I think it was like 500 ton deficit, and we carved it all the way down to only 177. Unfortunately, we're still in a deficit, but currently production is sitting at 675 tons per month with a deficit of 177 tons. Then we have a livestock production of 412 tons per month with a deficit of 207. And then we almost got back into the green with both vegetables and our cotton. But again, we really didn't have much of a deficit there anyways. We definitely tackled a large portion of our agriculture production, which is great. Let's take a look at our jobs as well. Wow, we went from 8% unemployment down to 4.5%. So, I mean, I think that's definitely fantastic. We definitely did a really good job with that. I'm really pleased with how it looks. I think it definitely fits that rural farmland look nicely. We see the intersections we added in here are not too busy. It's definitely handling some of the traffic that we were putting through here. Looks like it's working out very well. We cut a lot of unemployment, added a great looking lake town. I think it doesn't look too bad, right? When you have that, I think our lake town looks pretty good. I'm really excited to get mods and getting deeper into our detailing. But otherwise, for what we have for a stock map, limited sort of for fertile land, I think this definitely turned out pretty good. Hope you enjoyed the video today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.